So I know, you guys, I'm a big advocate on everybody should be growing something. And I do believe that with all my heart. Now, I do understand that everybody doesn't have the room nor the space to be able to do things like that. So, and a lot of people are limited on finances. So I'm going to show you guys one of the cheapest ways. I've done a lot of research, and this is one of the cheapest ways that we're going to do things. Okay, so I'm out and about today. I'm going to actually take you guys with me on the road, go to the places that we're going to go to. All right, one of the things I already picked up. For me, if you're going to start gardening for the first time, one of the easiest things and easiest ways and methods that you can use is container gardening. Container gardening is a way to keep whatever you're growing in pots, in containers that you can put wherever you need to. You don't have to dig up your yard. You don't have to do anything like that. Very little pest issue, very little issues with animals and rodents like groundhogs and things like that. When they're in pots that are big enough, the groundhogs and things like that, they don't really like climbing up on things. They like to grab things that's real close to them, so you don't have to worry about a bunch of that, a bunch of weeding and all that kind of stuff like that. Super simple, okay? But I'm going to give you the cheapest method of container gardening that I have found and seen, okay? So let me show you what I did. What I've learned is called growing in grow bags. Okay, now you can go online and you can buy grow bags. They normally cost you around $6, $8, $10, $12 depending on the size of the bag. But one of the cheapest ways I've seen is this right here. Let me show you guys. You see this? This is a Walmart reusable shopping bag. You know, the ones with the handles. These things cost 50 cents. I'm going to show you how to turn this into a container for growing. Okay, so y'all stick with me and we're going to go through this process. So why am I so concerned with you guys learning how to grow? Well, one, I think it's a trait and skill that we all need to have, and that was once everybody had. If you think about your grandmother or some of our parents and everybody beyond that, everybody had a garden. Everybody had a little something that they were growing. Everybody grew tomatoes and some peppers, and a lot of people grew corn and all kinds of things like that. We've lost that skill and that trait, and we've depended on everybody else to provide the food for us, and that has enabled them to do some shady business with our food. So that's why, one of the reasons why I think we should just all learn to grow some of our own food. Plus, there is a joy. Let me tell you something. There is nothing like if I'm in the house and the wife is like, we're going to have salad with dinner tonight. There is nothing like, instead of saying, okay, let me go to the market and pay $3 for a bag of salad that I gotta look in around and check to make sure that the leaves aren't browning and all that other kind of foolishness. It's such a joy to be able to go out into my backyard and pull off some lettuce, some Swiss chard, some radish, and all of that to make me my own salad. It's amazing. It's one of the best feelings ever to pull off your own tomatoes, to taste the tomatoes. Have you tasted tomatoes lately from the market? I mean, seriously, have you tasted what the tomatoes in the market taste like? They don't taste like anything. When you pull them off the vine, when they're ready to come, the flavor that you get, oh my goodness, it's something that you will never, it's like nothing you've ever experienced. So for me, that's one of the things I love. I love being able to pull off fresh herbs when I need to. I love being able to say, hey, I'm gonna make some tea and I want some fresh mint to put in there, or some fresh mint in my lemonade, or if I'm going to infuse some water and to pull that off. I loved being able to have all the kale that I could, and just anytime I wanted to juice, and using kale as my leafy green. Do you know how much kale costs, organic kale, to go in and buy that to make your juice smoothies, your green smoothies with? And I was able to go outside every day and just pull off what I needed. It's amazing. And plus, the method that I use is what they call a bio-intensive growing method, which means that I can grow. I've learned to grow a lot in a little space. I grow so much, it also brings me joy to be able to give away a lot of what I grow. I live in a poor area, and there's a lot of elderly around me, and it's amazing. And I know that they can't afford to go to Whole Foods and Trader Joe's and places like that to get a lot of their food. And it's a joy to be able, for me, to be able to just say, you know what? Here's a bag of lettuce with no pesticides, no fertilizers, and you want to talk about eating local? I'm 2 blocks away from you. That's where it was grown. It wasn't grown in Mexico and shipped in here. I didn't pick it when it wasn't ready and then give it some nitric or some type of gas to make it ripe. I did all of that, with the Lord's help, in the ground, in my own backyard. And guess what? You can do it too. So this is why I'm really passionate about this thing. So, so I always encourage you guys, get growing, all right? So my first location we're going to go to, we got our containers now, we have to fill them, right? So we're going to go over to Home Depot. You guys know I'm an organic grower, or I try to be as organic as possible, put it that way, right? But I am going to say this. When you are just starting off, I would rather you grow in a way that's not quite organic to start off with, rather than you not growing at all, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to find the cheapest way to grow. I'm not going to specifically worry about organic growing if at all possible, okay? So I'm gonna give you the cheapest and the easiest way, and our first stop is Home Depot, and we'll be there in a second. All right, I'll catch you guys in a minute. All right, so we've arrived at the Home Depot. I'm going to be going over to the nursery section, and let's see what they have. So I'm here. Look at this. 5 for $10. So that means the plants that I can buy. All right. Now you guys know I like starting from seeds, but for you starters, you can start this way. Look at that. They have sweet mint. They have tomatoes. They have squash. They have all of these things, and 5 for $10. So we can get you can get any 5 for 10. All right. So I know which ones I'm going to grab. I think I'm going to grab some jalapeno peppers, and I think I'm going to grab some of these yummy snack petite bell peppers. I'm going to grab, let's see, I'm going to grab one of these mints, maybe a chocolate mint, and maybe a peppermint, and something else. All right, but let's take a look at, besides that. There we go. Now this is a good one because this one is actually heirloom. This is one of the best kales you can get right here. I love this stuff. I'm definitely going to grab some of this. So let's look at the potting soil. All right, guys, I want to tell you guys something, okay? So when you're growing in containers, you want potting soil. You don't want garden soil. That's different, okay? Garden soil is for when you're going to be putting it directly into the ground. Potting soil is what you want for containers. So let's look at some of these prices here. Now you can get potting soil from a dollar store, so it all depends on how much you're going to be doing, okay? I have a few big bags, just a few of those bags, so for me, I'm going to need a little bit of size, but like one of those bags, you could probably go to dollar store and get 2 bags and call it a day. I'm looking at some of these prices. Let's see what we have. There's a garden. This hummus and manure, you could always take one of those. You would have to add something to it, but you can take something like that. Stay away from this stuff here. This stuff is just a bunch of rocks and sticks. It'll turn into clay inside of your pot and your stuff won't grow. Let me look and see one more time. So I just got a price check. Now, this here potting mix is $5 for this bag. And you see where it says grows plants twice as big, feeds up to 6 months? That means that this bag already has fertilizer in it. So if you bought this, you wouldn't even need to buy fertilizer, okay? So if you're not trying to be organic, you can go this way. If I were trying to go organic, I would probably go to this one here for $9.97. And then I would probably add my own fertilizer in. Now, how many bags you get is going to be determined upon how many containers you're going to have, okay? So for our containers, I'm probably going to do 2 of these bags here. All right. Yeah, so let's take a look around for some more stuff. You guys something. This is my fertilizer. My main fertilizer that I use is Garden Tone 888 for this size bag. Love this stuff. If you were going to go the organic way, you will need to definitely grab a bag of this. If you're going the inorganic way, the other cheaper ones have the synthetic fertilizers in it, and then you can just get another type of fertilizer. So let's look at some fertilizers. Some fertilizers. If you're going organic, I told you about the the Garden Tone that I use, or Plant Tone. Here's the other stuff that I use. This Organics Tomato and Vegetable. This is actually like little packs that you put into water, and so you water. This is what I will use actually later in the season. But if you're not going organic, you can grab any one of these plant food things. What you're looking for in gardening for fertilizers basically is this. It'll have these numbers. Let's see if I can get these to zoom in over here. You see that 12-4-8? That gives you what they call the NPK rating. NPK just means nitrogen, potassium, or phosphorus, I think it is. I can't remember. And K is potassium. I think I got that mixed up, but I'm trying to do this on the fly with people looking at me, so it's kind of hard. So what I would, out of all of these, probably this one will be your best bet. Osmocote flower and vegetable. Let's see what numbers they have on here. General purpose and 14, 14, 14. And that one is $4.98. So you would get your little soil, your $5 bag of soil, $5 fertilizer, which this will actually last you a couple years because you're only sprinkling a little bit in there. That one bag of potting soil is going to make you for 2 bags. You'll be able to do that with those little things, and then you don't even have to get a liquid one if you don't want. That'll probably be enough. But if you wanted to do a liquid one as well, you could probably do something like that. But really, you wouldn't need to. And when you're doing the inorganic fertilizers, you do have to worry about over fertilizing. So I wouldn't even worry about it. Get the potting soil that has the fertilizer in it, and get the Osmocote. And I'll show you how to mix all those together later. But basically, you get that, and that's it. Now, guys, something else. You also have your blood meal, bone meal, if you wanted to. Your blood meal. I also use this stuff here, Mater Magic, for my tomatoes. They're organic. And here's another liquid. These are for the organic people. You can use something like this. It's OMRI certified. This is fish fertilizer. You can also use that as a general purpose. That one. And here's the plant tone, but it's not on sale. The other one is. So you would get the other one. And here's another one that you can use. Job's Organics Plant General. They're 423. That's $9.98. If you're doing organic, you want to get that garden tone. If you're coming here, garden tone, your bone meal, your blood meal, and then when your plants start coming up, your fish fertilizer as a liquid, and that's what I do for the organic people. So I don't want to leave you guys out for the ones who want to spend a little bit of money, and you can do that a little bit at a time. All right, when you buying your veggies, right, for you organic people, you can still buy these. You want to look for the ones that say heirloom. Okay, if it says organic or if it says heirloom for you organic people, that works. Also, another thing, when you guys, for everybody, when you guys are doing this container gardening, say I want to buy a tomato, right? Because everybody likes tomatoes. You want to get you don't want the larger tomatoes, like they're called like these here, Brandywines. Produce beefsteak sized tomatoes. You don't want these. You want like cherry tomatoes, or you want nice sized tomatoes. Sometimes they're called like these here, patio container tomatoes. You can grow the larger ones in the container. The thing is, you will run into issues of trying to keep it under control. The larger the tomatoes, the bigger the plant actually gets, and because you're doing a pot, and especially those of you who are going to try this bag method, I would stick with a cherry or a patio size tomato. Okay, but again, you guys, like this one here, yellow pear, which is actually ones that I'm actually growing in the house right now. I'm going to be growing these. I have these growing from seed. These yellow pear cherry heirloom tomatoes, I'm actually growing these. So you guys, ones like these are actually a good size tomato for those who want to grow tomatoes and you're going to try this bag method. Do not get the huge, super big ones, because then you'll have to, worry about staking and how to keep them together. All right, keep them from tipping over because they get huge. All right. Also, when you're picking out these things here, they're all the same price, right? So you want to get the ones that look a little bit larger because they're going to do a little bit better. Ones that have those a little thicker stalk to them because they're already further along in the growing process. That's going to help you out. All right, so let me give you an example. So this here, patio, nice thick stem, is the same price as this. Now you might get with this one because this is actually 2 tomato plants, and for the one price you can actually get 2. Or if you don't have the space for it, you can just go with this one. Like if this was only 1, see how thin that is compared to these? Go with the one that's the bigger one. Okay, here's an example. So they're thin, that's thick. That little thin one here versus this big thick one there. Go with the thick one. All right, peace. People, so I'm back. I spent $21.65. I got 2 mint plants. I got 3 types of peppers. I got 1 tomato, and I got a container that had about 9 kale plants in there. And I got a bag of the potting mix. So that's $21.65. All right. Now again, if you already got your 50-cent bags, this right here is probably going to give you 2 bags. You could probably fill up 2 bags with this, right? And then these plants here were $2 each, not counting the kale, but these other plants were $2 each. So let's say I'm only going to do 2 bags. I'm going to do 1 pepper, 1 tomato. 1 pepper, 1 tomato is $4. 1 bag is $5. And then, so that's $9. And then if I had 2 bags at 50 cents a piece, that's $10 plus whatever taxes in here. $10. And you could be growing something. Do you understand that there's no excuse? All right, so I'm gonna put this all together and I'll show you guys how to do that in a little bit. Okay, people, so we have our Walmart bag, we have our soil. Just want you guys to know it's been about 2 weeks since I started this video. And so, yeah, just now getting this thing together, finishing it. In that time, though, I noticed one of the things you do want to do, you don't want to use those other bags that I was telling you about, the cloth bags. You don't want bags that don't have a shape to them. So if they look kind of like rounded, you don't want that. And I've tested this out, because once you put soil in your bag, they're going to bow out too far, and they're not going to have a shape. So you want ones like this Walmart bag that has a defined square shape. Okay, don't get the ones that are bowed. I mean, that look like kind of rounded, because then they're just not going to hold. Okay, just want you guys to know that. Now, in here is my potting soil. I just poured it out, and what I did was I sprinkled my fertilizer in here already, and then mixed it around with my hands. I had some gloves on and did that. You can fill the bag up and then sprinkle your stuff on top. I'm just used to putting fertilizer all in around my soil. I kind of like it like that. If you want to do that, then what I would do is take out some of my the potting soil and put it into a bucket. Sprinkle some fertilizer, then put some more potting soil, sprinkle a little fertilizer, and then mix it all around in your hands in the bucket, and then from the bucket pour it into your bag. Okay, now before we put anything in the bag, one thing we are going to do, even though these bags are porous and they breathe, they do hold a little bit of water. So what we're going to do is I'm going to just fold them. I'm going to fold this bag. Excuse me, guys. I'm trying to do this. I'm going to fold this bag so that the creases from the bottom are sticking in the air, like so. And then I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to cut that corner there off. Alright, let me do this real quick. Alright, so I just cut that little piece off, and that's going to put a hole in the bottom of my bag like that. Alright. That hole might be a little bit too big. I didn't want it really that big. So let's put another one. Let's try to do a little smaller hole. It's kind of hard doing this with one hand. Alright, let's try that. Alright, so we got holes at the bottom. So now it looks like that. The reason why we want that is because we do want drainage. You have to have drainage when you're doing container gardening, and this is a form of container gardening. You have to have drainage, or your roots are going to rot. Okay. Now you can also leave these handles on. I'm actually going to take these handles off, and then after I take these handles off, I'm going to put my soil into the bag. So I'll be right back. Okay, so our bag is now filled, and you see how it kind of bows out. What you want to do is grab both sides and shake the bag just to stand it up a little bit. Okay, hold on. See that? This is why you want to get the bags that have defined square sides, because then it stands up nicely. Now you notice I didn't fill it up all the way to the top, and that's because I don't need to. You know what I'm saying? You want to conserve. If you fill it up, don't fill it up past maybe 3/4 ways, okay? But this is to save you guys some soil. That's really all you need right there, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is fold these sides down around there, and then I'm going to put my plant in there. This bag is going to get a jalapeno pepper from me, okay? And for a bag, for something this size, 1 pepper is all that you need to put in there, okay? If you were going to put a tomato in here, you would fill it up just a little bit more with a little bit more soil, but you would also need to buy a little small tomato cage to put in as well, because tomatoes get larger. Okay, these bags for me are actually perfect for a pepper size. What I am going to do to hold this pepper as it grows is I'm going to put a stake in here as well, and then I'll attach as this thing grows. I'm going to tie it up, and I'm going to show you guys what I'm using. It's actually called garden tape. You can get garden tape from the dollar store. Do not pay more than $1 for your garden tape. It comes in a roll, and once you pay that $1 for the garden tape, it's going to last you forever, for a couple years. That's what I use all the time. You want to use garden tape because the garden tape does not damage your plant, okay? So I'll show you how to tie it and all that kind of stuff in a little bit. So I'm going to put this in the dirt. I'm going to fold the sides down, and I'll let you see the finished product, okay? I forgot I'm doing this video for total newbies, okay? So I had it in a container that it came in, and what I did was I peeled off the container. Now they tell you all you have to do is take this plastic off, and then you can bury this container directly into the soil, because this is made of peat moss, that same stuff that I use. It's made of that, and it actually will break down over time, so it's an organic material. However, when my first year gardening, I had bought 2 plants, And what I did was I wanted to test the theory, and so I planted one in the ground, keeping it in the pot, and the other one I took out of the pot, and the one I took out of the pot grew much better. Okay, so I took it out of the pot. Once you take it out of the pot, now you see how the roots are starting to swerve and turn around. That's because the roots didn't have anywhere to go. They hit the side of the wall on that pot, and then they started to swirl. So what you do is, once you take it out, you want to just break up the roots just a little bit. Okay, just break them up just a little. Don't be too rough with it. Just break them up just a little bit to free them up. What that is going to do, it is going to cause a little shock to your plant. Okay, so your leaves are going to droop after about a day. But what's going to happen is it's going to force your plant to put down some more roots and strengthen its roots. And because I broke them up, when I put them in this dirt, they're going to realize, the roots are going to realize that they're no longer constricted anymore, that they're free to go wherever they want, and then they're going to thrive in this. Okay, so break your pot up, dig a little hole, stick it in, and then fill it back. Okay, so I'll show you guys in a minute. Okay, people, here we go, our finished product. It's in. If you want to know what that white stuff is, I'll let you know in another video. There is something that I do special for tomatoes and for peppers, and I'll tell you exactly what that is in that video. I'm going to do another video on, I'm going to do it today, and it's going to upload the same day, how I grow, what I do for my tomatoes and peppers, okay? But here's our finished product. What I did was I tied the garden tape around it. Now, when you're tying the garden tape, let me see if I can get this in a good shot, that you want a whole lot of gap in between, okay? Because the garden tape is just there to hold it to the stake. And I have these stakes that I've had for years, and I'm reusing them. You can use anything, a piece of wood, a stick, a branch, anything. You don't need to go purchase anything like that for a stake for something in this bag. You tie the garden tape not too tight. Alright, what that's going to do is it's going to allow this plant to grow, and as it grows, because it's not tight, the garden tape is going to just grow up the stake with it. It's just going to grow up with it because it's not tight. It's just there because when this thing, let me get out the sun, I don't know if you can see those little things. When this thing begins to fruit, the fruit is going to be heavy, and it's going to pull the plant downward. And when it pulls the plant down, it's not going to be good. So that's all the garden tape is there, is to hold the plant upright while it produces its fruit. Garden tape, dollar store. Don't pay more than $1. The roll looks like this. It's a little bit bigger than this. I've been using this for the last 5 years. I only bought this one time, and I've been using it for the last 5 years, and you already see I got a whole lot more to go. Okay? So that's it. Now, all you want to do after this is water. Water it very well. Remember, the first day, two or 3 days, the leaves are going to droop just like that because we mess with the roots a little bit. Oh, one other thing. What I did at the bottom, I took off the leaves that were down here and the branches just like that. All I did was just take it and pull these off. One, I don't want the energy going down here anymore. I want it going to the plant. So at the very bottom of your plants, I do the same thing with my tomatoes. At the very bottom, I take the leaves off. Okay? And that's it. So as I continue to do garden updates, you can see how this bad boy is going to do for us. Check out this next video that I'm going to be doing about what I add to my tomatoes and my peppers. Okay? Peace.